Hey, what's up? Justin here. Welcome to 65 Drums. Today I'm giving you my first impressions of the ATV Artist Pro drum set. There's two configurations of this, and this is the pro level version of their Artist line. So that was previously their flagship drum set. I've done videos on it if you want to go hear my review of that drum set. I really enjoyed using that. I've recommended it to a lot of different people. And now they have a tier above that, which is this Pro line. So I'm about to jump into the weeds of what I like and don't like about the drum set, all the nitpicky little things. Oh, did I really like the wood grain? Oh, what about the EQ and whatever. Before I jump into all that, just taking a step back, this is a good drum set. This is one of the better electronic drum sets you can buy on the entire market. I would buy it without the drum module included because there are much better drum modules, even around that price range. But overall, incredibly solid kit, very fun to play. And it was a blast, really. Let's just do a really quick comparison between the Pro level and then the regular version. To be honest, these drum sets are incredibly similar. They're using the exact same kinds of cymbals, which are already some of the best that you can buy out there. They're using the same drum module, which isn't my favorite drum module in the world, but you can buy either one of these drum sets, I believe, without the module. The drums are what's different, basically. So the kick drum is 2 inches larger on the Pro line, 20 inches versus 18 inches. And you have the snare, which is 1 inch larger on the Pro line, so 13 inches versus 14 inches. And then I think that the tom sizes go all the way up to 16 inches across on the Pro version versus only 13 inches across, which is one thing that I always said in my earlier review. I wish the one with the black shells, I wish it had a larger floor tom. Now they're finally giving that to us. So same module, slightly larger sizes, a different, shell configuration thing. Also, it looks completely different. These are maple shells versus just painted black shells. Also, there's the ability to buy these A drums through a third-party partner, which will put on a shell wrap. And there are a lot of different shell wrap options for the Pro line, which look really sweet, but I don't know how expensive these shell wraps are and whether or not it'll be worth buying. But if you're thinking about dropping this amount of money on an electronic drum set, maybe the price difference of buying a certain shell wrap won't really bother you. That's really up to you. But of course, the big thing that they're pushing, the big feature difference, isn't the sizes or the look of anything. It's really the fact that these sound good as acoustic drums. So you can take off the mesh heads, the strainer is already in the snare, you don't have to put that back on. You just slap on your favorite acoustic heads and now it sounds like a legit, nice acoustic drum set. So that's the one big feature they're pushing of the Pro line. Now, while I got to play it at NAMM, I only got to play it in its electronic drum form. The one big feature that they were showing off was the fact that it had the ability to sound great with acoustic heads on it, but they didn't really have a drum set sitting next to it with acoustic heads. That would have been cool to jump back and forth between acoustic and electronic, that would have been awesome, but they didn't have a separate drum set just for that. I did get to hear the snare, and I'll show some photos of it right here, but I didn't get a chance to really hear the whole drum set. I'm sure they're going to work on some videos so you can hear the difference between them, but yeah, that's the big feature that they're touting with this whole thing. Now here's the thing, there's a lot of different companies making electronic sets in the size of an acoustic drum. And when you're buying one of those and it's only around like $2,000, they tend to be cheaper drum shells just because of the pricing of everything. So you're going to be playing something maybe on the level of a Pearl Export set of shells, I don't know. But when you spend more money, then they can use the really nice shells made out of maple and stuff like that. So I'm sure these sound good, but technically I have only heard the snare, so I can't say for sure. So we're going to switch over to some playing footage, but I just want to mention before we do that, you don't have to buy the drum module that you're going to hear in this video. Most of the time, ATV sells a version of their drum sets without the drum module. You can buy the shell, cymbal, and hardware package, and then you can go buy like a 2-box drum module. A roll-in drum module will work great with these. Just wanted to mention that. Some people seem to forget that when I released my drum solo video that I did of it. They didn't like the way it sounded. It doesn't really matter. The ATV doesn't force you to buy the drum module. Okay, so let's jump ahead to some playing examples. Okay, so now that you've heard the kit in action, what do I think about this drum set overall? Is it worth buying? Technically, this is hard to answer because we don't know full pricing yet at the making of this video. I've heard through the grapevine that it's going to be 30 to 20% more than the base level ATV Artist drum set. So the prices could be, I'm not even going to try to guess. You guys probably already know because they're going to release the prices maybe as soon as I make the video. It's going to be kind of hard to justify buying this because it'll be pretty darn expensive. It won't be as expensive as like a TD50 drum set or something like that, but it's going to be up there. I would buy it without the drum module and pair it with some other drum module that you like. That's just me. They do now have an extension drum module that lets you add more pads. If you connect these two via these dedicated ports on the back of the 85 drum module, which until now have gone unused, now you can connect these two drum modules, you'll have more pad inputs, and you'll also have the ability to have direct outs if you use the extension drum module. Something all of us have wanted, and now you can finally have direct outs. They also have an iOS app. Apparently it's going to come to Android eventually. That always is what happens. They always develop stuff for iOS first and then Android. Every company does that, I'm not sure why. They have a nice app that lets you have actual faders for all of your pads. You can build all of your custom kits inside of the app and do all this stuff that is a lot easier to do on a touch interface versus a bunch of different menus on a tiny little screen. I wish there were actual faders on the 85 drum module, especially on a kit that is marked professional. So I really like that they have an app for that now. And then finally, they also have a computer program, which is in very much a beta form. I saw it. It's in really rough early beginnings, but you can basically import your own samples and create your own kits on the fly. I don't know how many layers per pad that you can assign these samples to. I don't know if it's going to be as powerful as the kit editor on like a 2-box drum module or the Alesis Strike drum module, which can let you import a full VST. Go check out Siren Drum's channel if you want to see a really in-depth tutorial on how to do that on the Alesis Strike module. Really good stuff. But at least they're building that sort of program on the computer. It's not out yet, but that's something that drummers have really been asking for. So I'm glad that they're listening and they're actually making that. So here's the irony. ATV is a very purist company. They kind of remind me of Apple, to be honest. They want the drum module to be simple. They want there to be ultra low latency. They don't want people messing around with sounds all the time and tuning things up and down and using compressors and everything. They just want you to sit down and play and have a blast and not worry about a drum module, okay? That's a beautiful vision. It sounds really cool. But on the other hand, at their own booth, they have one box for the drum module. They have a separate box to add more inputs and have lots of individual outputs. They have a second box, which was a rack-mounted compressor. They're showing off their acetone compressor. That's awesome, but that's 3 boxes so far. They have a separate iPad mount so they could show off their app so they could have faders. And those are 4 different things. Meanwhile, just a regular drum module like a used TD20 or TD30 already has a compressor built in, has EQ built in for every single pad, also has lots of direct outs and lots of inputs so you don't need a secondary box to expand your drum module, and it already has individual faders so you don't need an iPad app. They want things to be dead simple, but when you make things dead simple, all of a sudden you have to be throwing lots of extra gear, and before you know it, pile of gear when you could have just had one box that does everything. Takes a little bit longer to learn, but also simplifies the mess into just one easy-to-use box. That's just my view on it. It just seemed like there was a lot of stuff there that could have been done by one unit. Okay, so I've said all those things, and some people love the module, some people don't. Some people think it sounds machine gunny, there's not enough round-robin samples. Whatever you want to think about it, here's the thing. I have no malice towards this drum module because ATV doesn't force you to buy it. They just have it as an option. You can either buy the drum set with or without it. They're just saying, here guys, this is a drum module. We really believe in it. We love the way it sounds. We put a lot of effort into it, but we're not forcing you to buy it. We just have it here as an option. Get it with it or without it. So I'm just glad it's out there. It's an option for people that really do want it. Okay, so now it's time to talk about kit configurations. There are 2 different versions of this with more or less pads. The versions are EXP and STD. Alright, so the EXP version comes with a 20-inch kick drum, a 14-inch snare, 10, 12, and 14-inch toms, 14-inch hi-hat, 16-inch crashes, there's 2 of them, and then you get an 18-inch ride cymbal. The STD version comes with a 20-inch kick, 14-inch snare, 10 and 14-inch floor toms, 14-inch hi-hat, 16-inch crash, and an 18-inch ride cymbal. I kind of wish that the more expensive version came with 2 16-inch floor toms, but thankfully you can buy them separate if you want to from a website such as eDrum Center. Okay, so taking a step back, is this drum set good? Yes, it definitely is. It's attacking a very small section of the electronic drum space though, like the higher echelons of electronic drums. This is going after the customers that are considering a drum tech drum set. This is going after the customers that are considering a TD50 KVX. That's who this drum set is targeted towards, with a little bit of a twist. It has some unique features some other drum sets don't have around this price range. It's very solid, and it's not trying to be a budget drum set. They're just trying to make a beautiful drum set that does multiple things. I do think the baseline A-Drums Artist Series is a much better deal. If it was me, I wouldn't buy this version of the drum set. I wouldn't buy the Pro version. I would buy the baseline Artist Series kit, the one with the black shells, because it's just a much better deal. You're getting the same cymbals, you're getting the same sensor technology, you're getting sizes that are decently sized. It's not quite as large as this one, but it's acoustic sized. And if you want, you can get the exact same drum module if you like the 85 ecosystem. So what I'm trying to get across here is that this drum set is not supposed to be a great deal. It's just supposed to be a better version of a great drum set they were already selling at a higher price. It's only for like maybe 1% of the electronic drum audience out there, but I'm glad the Pro Series kit exists as an option in case you want to go that route. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know what you think about this drum set down in the comments below. More videos to come, don't worry, I'll see you in a few.